You tell me who I am.
They called you West.
Jim West.
Mr. West.
West!
Well, my name is James West.
A truly great man.
Brilliant.
Secret Service agent.
What's next? Come on, I'm waiting.
Man of action. He's James West.
Where's Jim West?
On the Wild Wild West. Weekdays at 4, 3 Central on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Malos, and welcome to Connect with Me, live on Comcast 187 and 43.6. Today, it's the world of sports. We've got Ken Rivera in the house. He is the coordinating official for the Mountain West Conference. He was here before in August. He's here again to reevaluate the season that has just ended in the Mountain West. Your phone calls are important. 265-4331. Back in a moment. And welcome back to the program. Glad to have you along on this, what is it, Wednesday morning already. And tomorrow, keep in mind, I think I mentioned this yesterday, but tomorrow we have not a repeat, but we have two guests that are going to come back into the studio. They were here last week talking about gun control. I'm talking about Alan Chia. He's in favor of gun control. And Ron Saul, he is the owner of the range. He is totally against any kind of gun control. We'll have a big conversation about that tomorrow, and you'll have your chance again because the phone lines were ringing off the hook last week, and we didn't have enough time, so they have decided to come back tomorrow and finish up the conversation. But today, we're going to talk about the world of sports and football, specifically officiating. Let's go to the videotape, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about the Mountain West Conference and the season that just concluded. That includes Fresno State. They just, well, of course, they got beat in Hawaii, as you well know, on Christmas Eve by an SMU football team. But today, we're going to be talking to the coordinator of officials for the Mountain West. His name is Ken Rivera. He is going to evaluate what the officials did during the season. Were there any glaring mistakes? Were there some positive signs that, hey, everything went pretty well as planned in the Mountain West Conference and everywhere else around the country? As you well know, the National Football League is going to play their divisional games this coming weekend. The 49ers will be involved. The Seattle Seahawks will be involved as well. And right there, you're taking a look at one of the officials for the Mountain West. So we'll ask Ken about the NFL as well. Live in our studio right now is Ken Rivera. As mentioned, the coordinator of officials, his second appearance here on Connect with Me. He is from the Mountain West Conference. He just concluded his 10th season as the coordinator of officials in the Mountain West. He was an official himself. You think it's an easy job, my friends? Is it an easy job? We'll ask him. He was an official for 19 years in the Big West, the WAC, and the Mountain West. So he's got the experience, he's got the knowledge, and the official meetings are coming up at the end of January down in Texas, where they talk to all the officials, they reevaluate the season and what happened. Your phone calls are important. In fact, I think we have one now. We're going to wait until after the break. 265-4331. The world of sports is coming around the corner in a minute.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified, ready steam equipped, high efficiency Frigidaire affinity place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Frigidaire laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Oh gosh, we're back here having too much fun on the set today here at Connect with Me. Hey, it's the world of sports. It's supposed to be fun. It's kind of the toy box of life, I think. Sports, as you well know. Ken Rivera is our guest again, second appearance here. You know, I used to be a sportscaster in my previous life, and I passed a lot of judgment on officials, believe me, in my time. You're laughing.
Join the crowd, John. Everyone wants to be an official.
No, everyone is an official when they're watching the game from their couch.
Yeah, it's easy to do when you have all the TV angles.
That's right.
Officials have to work games in real time, and that's pretty tough. Not everybody can do it.
Tell me exactly, Ken, what your job is as the coordinator of officials for the Mountain West. What specifically do you do?
Well, what my function is to hire, train, evaluate, and assign officials for Mountain West Conference assigned games.
You wouldn't want to hire me then, huh?
Well, you're a hater, John. You're a hater, John.
Come on now. Come on. Take it easy.
You have kind of a skewed sense of judgment here on the officiating, John. It's okay,
no, we were talking off the air, just so you know, off the air just a few minutes ago about some past NFL games from yesteryear. I mean, a long time ago, before some of you people in here were even born, but talking about the 60s and 70s. But I realize it is a tough job. I know it is. To do something in real time, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, it is. And you know, you start from your Pop Warner football to your high school football, junior college, small college, Division I, NFL, all the way up the ladder. There's challenges, and the poor guys working the lower levels, you know, the Pop Warner and the high schools, they're just getting bludgeoned by the fans and the coaches. I mean, I've seen situations where fans and coaches are unmerciful, and you know, those poor guys are getting paid $50 a game and working their butts off to do the best they can, and it's a thankless job.
What about the parents? Do they get pretty anxious?
God. Pop Warner, when your kid's playing, I mean, you have children. If your kids are out there playing, you're going to get pretty upset sometimes if a call goes away from you.
So in the Mountain West, it's your job to hire these officials that they actually officiate the Fresno State games now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's your job to evaluate them, hire them, fire them?
Dismiss them.
Dismiss them. You're dismissed.
Basically, if you don't reach our standards and our performance standards, and you have a tough year 2 years in a row, then you're probably out. But it takes years.
Really?
Most people that get into Division I football and into the Mountain West, they're usually in their mid to late 40s. It's rare that we get someone in their 30s because it takes so many years to train and learn the game through the lower levels. And if you're going to make mistakes, we want you to make them in the lower levels, not at the Division I level.
I did not know that. So traditionally, I mean, through tradition and experience, you're going to get hired when you're in your 40s at Division I.
Typically.
Typically.
Late 30s, 40s. Very seldom will you get a person in their 20s that gets hired in the Division I.
Has it ever happened before?
I've hired two officials, one that was 29, one that was 28, and they're both
When was that?
That was about 7 years ago. We have a kid.
They were that good, huh?
They were that good. They were that good.
Well, I'm going to write this down. If you were to hire me, give me the top 3 do's and don'ts of officiating, like the top 3 do's that you have to do, and then the 3 don'ts.
Okay.
All right.
Ready for the do's?
I'm ready for the do's.
You have to be committed to the time and the commitment it's going to take to learn the rules and the mechanics and the philosophies of the game. You have to be in stellar shape, excellent shape.
Physically.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be a team player. You can't be a prima donna. You can't be the top guy or girl, because there's a lot of women officiating in the game now. You have to be humble. Those are the do's. Don'ts are just kind of the opposite of that. Don't be out of shape. Don't take it so carefree that you don't learn the rules and the mechanics of the game. And don't be a bad person. We want good people, because that's important, because it translates to good judgment.
So in other words, the officiating crew, they're like a team just like the football team on the field.
Oh, absolutely. They are the third team on the field.
Yeah. Is there a superstar, or do you try to get away from that kind of philosophy? Is there a superstar in officiating, or is it pretty much, okay, let's keep this at a very low-key level, and everybody's kind of on the same playing field?
One thing that I always tell people, if you want to be humbled in the football officiating business, be arrogant. You know, be pompous. Because the game humbles you. Because you make mistakes. You have inadvertent whistles. You miss calls, even when you think you're at the top. Even the top officials make mistakes. So for the most part, once you get to the Division I level, all the officials are humble people, good family people, smart folks, know how to be committed to the game, and we don't have issues with people that.
But here's the question I have. You could have all the do's on your do list, the top 3, like know the rules, stay in shape, be a team player, but yet you still may not qualify and get in. What would be holding that person back? Because he may have all those qualifications.
Yeah, you know,
Doesn't mean you can do the job.
As the pyramid goes to the top, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of football officials in high school, small college, and up through Division I in the NFL. There's 120 people that work in the NFL, just 120. There's 700 that do Division 1A. So there's a lot of luck involved. Right time, right place, right situation, and then your opportunities can occur. We don't promise anybody anything. We always tell them to kind of hang in there. That's why it takes them till their 40s to get in.
Too, right?
Oh, a lot of luck.
A lot of luck.
Just the right time, right place.
Yeah.
Just like these teams, these conferences now that are realigning. I mean, conferences go from 10 teams to 12 teams. They need to add 2 more teams. They need to add a crew. That means that they need to add some officials. And if you're ready, then you're going to get the call.
We've got a caller here, but they're blocking. I can't see their ID. I wonder if that's a red flag. We'll take the call anyway. See what happens, Ken. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
Good, good. What's your question for Ken Rivera? You upset about some particular football game or what?
I would just like to go home, please, sir.
Pardon me?
I would just like to go home.
What's that?
I would like to go home.
Okay, I don't know what that means. Let's just turn it off. Anyway,
Okay.
We're talking to Ken Rivera today. He is the coordinator of officials. That was the weirdest call that we've ever gotten. I'd like to go, well, I'll go home too after the show. We've got to take a break. Your phone calls are important, 265-4331. As long as they're not strange, you're here to call. We're here so you can call and ask a legitimate question about a football game you might be outraged about, and you can ask Ken about it, because the official, did he blow the call? Did she blow the call? We're back with our guest in just a moment.
I love playing cowboy.
Come on, let's go.
I'm an old cowhand from the big old land, and my legs ain't
If
more
you're looking for a fight, you're gonna find it.
than a teeth they can.
So you reckon this thing is loaded?
We're back with Ken Rivera. He is the coordinator of officials for the Mountain West Conference. And Ken, I want to turn you to the monitor and take a look at some videotape. And you have a conference that's coming up, and you can talk right into this thing as you're narrating over this. You've got a conference of officials coming up at the end of January. Here's a video of some of the officials at a conference, I believe last year or the year before. What do they do at a conference like this?
Yeah, well, what we have a couple things going on. We have a conference in March in San Antonio for the officials to come in and get further training and go through the plays that we missed during the year that we want them to improve on. And then we have a meeting at the end of this month in January with the 11 Division 1A coordinators. And we'll go through rules that need to be changed, mechanics that need to be changed, areas of the game that need to be upgraded, and make some decisions during that time.
What are they doing in this room right now? What's going on?
We're actually going through film with them. We're going through film, looking at tape, talking about plays, and they're taking notes from our evaluators.
So looking at film from games from the previous season, the season that just ended, in other words.
Just ended.
Right, and how many games, let's turn you back around here, well, how many games would that be? How many games do you look at?
Well, we have about 70 games this year in the Mountain West Conference games, including preseason.
So how many days at this conference?
That would be a 3-day conference.
And so you're looking at 70 games?
Well, we just pick out plays that we feel are important from those 70 games. Now, if you have an average game is 160 to 170 plays, there's about 5 plays out of each game that you pick out.
Okay. From what you've seen, this past year in the Mountain West Conference, were there any glaring mistakes that you'd like to correct?
Glaring mistakes? No, nothing glaring. You're always trying to upgrade your product on the field. You're always trying to improve, make people more consistent. And I think the consistency of the calls is critical. Coaches need to expect, especially on pass interference, a lot of bang-bang calls that we allow to let go because we feel that it's so difficult in real time for those defenders to avoid any kind of contact. As long as they're not materially restricting a receiver's attempt to get to the ball, we just let it go, let him play.
Tell me what happens immediately after a game. Like, let's say during the season, you got a game on Saturday, and next Saturday you got another game. Now, what happens between that in that 6-day period? What's going on?
As soon as the game is over, the video is going to be uploaded as soon as the teams upload video of the game for their coaches to evaluate the next day. We have access to that video as well, and then we put it on our website, and our officials go on and look at their game, and then we'll have evaluators that will grade that game. It takes them about 4 to 5 hours to grade the game, and then we'll send out an evaluation list to the officials on Wednesday, the week after the game.
Okay.
Then the officials will take that evaluation that we give them on Wednesday into their Friday night pregame for the next Saturday's game, and review that evaluation, go through certain clips of the game that maybe they missed or we could have done a little bit better, and then get ready for the next game that week.
Right. So
and
you're
the cycle continues for about 12 weeks.
Okay, you realize, though, that these are all human beings. Human beings are very imperfect, as we all know. So as a coordinating official, are you looking for perfection? Because you're never going to get perfection.
Well, we work for perfection, but we'll accept excellence. That's what we strive for.
Which means what?
Which means, if you can get 97% to 98% of your calls correct,
right,
that's excellence. If you get 100% of them, that's perfection, and no one's going to be perfect.
Right.
And officials are expected to be perfect and then get better. I mean, that's kind of what we grow up with in the officiating ranks, is you can't make a mistake, but that's ludicrous. You're going to make mistakes. It's a human game.
Right.
Players make mistakes. Coaches make mistakes.
So you don't expect perfection. You expect excellence.
Yes.
In other words.
And you can achieve excellence. You can work at excellence. It takes time. It takes training. It takes commitment. But you can achieve excellence. And the excellent officials get to Division I and stay in Division I. And those that are superior, and there's only a few of those, get to the NFL.
A few, like maybe a handful?
A handful.
And how many officials in Mountain West?
Mountain West has, we have 6 crews of 42 plus some alternates. We have 50.
Okay, you have alternates too, right? Waiting in the wings in case
right.
someone gets
injured,
sick,
right.
Whatever
right.
the case may be. So when I asked you about glaring mistakes, let me rephrase the question. Were there any areas of improvement that you'd like to see for next year?
Yeah, I think we're still working on targeting fouls. Many times we had fouls called in real time again, this bang bang, where a guy hits a shoulder into a guy's chest, and we call a foul for that because his head goes back, gets jerked back. And we've been given our orders by the Rogers Redding national coordinator that we want to tighten up on hits and blows to the head above the shoulders. And
sometimes it's unavoidable. It's a contact sport. They're running full speed. These are gigantic players.
Well, it's been difficult for them to learn to lower their target level because they're taught to put a helmet on somebody. That's what they're taught from the time they're in Pop Warner. Put a helmet on somebody. Well,
isn't that a contradiction? I mean, it's a contradiction because I know what you're saying is true because I tried out for football, and that's the first thing they taught me when I was little. And then you get to the real game, let's say you get to the NFL, now they're telling you, no, you can't do that. Wait a minute, I've been doing that since I was 5.
They've had to retrain officials, players, and coordinators.
Right.
We have to reteach that hit. And we want them to lower the target area, get it below the neck. Because there are just way too many injuries, and now the concussion issues become a big national issue.
I know, but why teach the players from the beginning that that's the way they're supposed to do it? See, they need to change
that at the Pop Warner level.
They need to change that. They need to change that. Yeah.
They're teaching different techniques now at the Pop Warner level.
Yeah.
And in that interim, between the time they get it and where we are now, there's going to be a lot of inconsistency. We're working on getting more consistent on the target.
Right. It's hard to see that in real time. I totally understand. But you know why I didn't succeed in football? The first time I got hit, I was out. Anyway, we're talking with Ken Rivera, the coordinator of officials for the Mountain West Conference. Football is a rough game, my friends, not for the meek. And I got to tell you, we're back in just a moment with our guest in a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
All right, we're back here having too much fun on a Wednesday, the world of sports, and let's take the call. Take a chance, right, Ken? All right. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you? Nope. Phone call's not there? Okay. Well, we took a chance.
Well, that's all right.
You know, we're giving you every opportunity to call. If you're upset about some Fresno State game or some call that took place in September or October, and you want to ask Ken about it, he's the guy in charge. You need to ask him. Not me. I don't hire and fire these guys. But anyway, for the most part, the season went pretty well. Now, let me ask you something. So you're looking to curb these hits, these type of hits. But what about when emotions run wild toward the end of the game, and one team is losing, and the conclusion is that team's going to lose, and now you got tempers flaring, you got benches that are coming close to clearing. What do you do?
You know,
did you have situations like that in the Mountain West this year?
Not this year, but we have had them in the past, especially for rivalry games. If you have a rivalry games, two interstate teams, and someone's losing at the end, you know, it's tough to kind of keep a cap on it.
Right.
But what we train our officials to do is throughout the game they have to stay on top of those things. So you do
from the beginning.
From the beginning. So you do a lot of preventative officiating. You try not to do it with flags. If you have to do it with flags, you do it with flags. But we prefer not throwing flags for guys pushing and shoving unless someone throws a punch.
Yeah, they throw a punch, they're out. Yeah. All right. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
I hope that this question
Turn it up.
pertains.
Hello.
Speak
up. Are you there?
Yes. Hello.
I
hope that this question pertains to your guest. I'm wondering this Sandusky and the Paterno affair. I know it's back east. How long is the black eye going to haunt the football at this level? And do you think that we're going to see it go away anytime soon?
I don't think it's gonna haunt college football per se. Maybe Penn State, but that's kind of getting off topic. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean that was a terrible situation that occurred for all sports.
Right.
And you know, Penn State is dealing with it as best that they can. It's something that's never going to go away for the people that were directly involved. And I'm sure
is Penn State scarred for life, forever? I think
Sandusky is scarred for life. I think.
Right, but the Penn State program, I mean.
Well, you know, folks are forgiving for the most part. Folks are forgiving for the most part.
Yeah. Sandusky, from what I understand, he still thinks he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty sick situation there.
But, you know, I think that was a black eye for all college sports.
In what way?
Well, it shows that we allow the game itself to be more important than human beings. You know, that apparently what the records showed was that they could have done something about that sooner. Got Paterno involved sooner. Got the president involved sooner.
Yeah.
And they waited on that. So yeah, it's a scar, but scars heal over a long period of time.
Right. All right. Another phone call. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Good. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good. You got a question for Ken?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead. Speak up.
I was wondering what kind of GPA they had to have to maintain playing the game.
Did you get the question?
A GPA you got to have?
I don't know. He's the coordinator for officials. Do you have an officiating question? Can you speak up, please, because I'm having a hard time understanding you. Okay. We're not having too much success with phone calls here today, but I didn't quite get the question. What do officials make? Let's start there, Ken.
Well, let's start at the Pop Warner level.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to make probably $40 a game, and you work 3 games on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Okay.
Then you move up to high school. You'll make somewhere between $50 and $70 doing that.
Not much.
Not much. Then you move up to junior college. You might make $100, $125 doing that.
Fresno City College?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. So no one's getting rich. And then you move up to Division III, where you're getting $200. And then you move up to Division II, where you're getting $300. And it doesn't go up incremental much. Then you move up to Division 1 AA, you might get $500
a game.
a game. Then you move up to Division 1A, where I'm at, and you can make $1,000 a game. The more money a conference has, like the BCS conferences, the SEC, the Big 12, the Pac-12,
So in the Mountain West, you make $1,000 a game,
plus
roughly.
Yeah, roughly.
Plus expenses.
Plus expenses.
All right, and how many games
travel.
a season?
12.
What is it, 12?
12.
So you're talking 12 grand.
Yeah.
It's not much money.
You're not in it for the money. You don't
What are you
do
in
it
it
for the
for?
money. For the pride of doing something that very few people know anything about, and to do it well.
As much money as these colleges and conferences
Oh,
have, that's all they're paying the officials
all
is
they're paying.
12. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So they keep all that money for themselves. That doesn't surprise me. But
But
in the NFL, let's say.
Well, now you're making money.
Yeah.
So you
What
get
do you make in the NFL? What's a top official make?
at the top level, you make $10,000 a game,
Okay.
and then it's all based on seniority. So
That's pretty good chunk of change there
Well,
throughout the season
yeah.
because they've got a 16-game schedule
'Cause
plus the preseason.
the top officials are making close to $200,000
Yeah.
a game, plus
I know.
playoffs, plus Super Bowl.
I know.
But you know that the game demands that level of expertise. Professionals are different than the amateurs in college.
Anybody that you saw on film this year that you want to get rid of? Don't mention names, but just give me a yay or
Well,
a nay.
and it's interesting that you say that. This is going to be the first year in 3 that we're not looking to dismiss anybody because
so no
of
one,
performance.
as far as you know, will be
Yeah,
dismissed.
yeah.
And is it your call only?
Yes.
It's your call.
Yeah.
Can it be appealed anywhere? If no.
You know, we've released people in the past, and not many, but some have sent letters to the commissioner complaining about being released, and he'll call me and said, "Is this anything I need to be involved with?" And I said, "I don't believe so." He said, "Okay."
Right. But you have the guidelines, and
Yeah.
you're going by those guidelines, and you're dismissing somebody based on their lack of performance.
And they know it all the way along,
Right.
Because they see their grades. We will call them at the end of the year if they had a tough year, and we'll say,
Right.
"Look, you had a tough year this year. If you have a similar year next year, you won't be retained on the staff." So we
Right.
give them plenty
So
of
they've got
training.
They've got a game-by-game report throughout the season, so there's nothing they can even do legally, because here it is. The documentation is right there.
Yeah, and it's well documented. And,
Right.
And they know when they're having a tough time.
Yeah.
And it's not something that people are in for a lifetime.
Right.
It's not owed to them. They
Right.
got to continue to perform no matter how long they've worked.
2 more questions here, and then I think we got to go. But can an official, a referee, or whatever, can that person be dismissed and then a couple of years later get rehired?
Well, this is the way it happens. It doesn't happen. It rarely happens in the same conference. But let's say that the Mountain West drops an official, which we've done before, and the Western Athletic Conference, who needs officials, will pick them up.
Oh.
So that happens, and that doesn't happen often. But
And
it
maybe
does
they
happen
can get
occasionally.
rehired in the Mountain West, perhaps,
Yeah,
down
well,
the road.
we've had people that
If they improve.
We've had people that have been released from the Pac-10 when it was the Pac-10 that we've hired in the Mountain West.
All right, got to ask you, have you ever made a call during your career that cost the team a game because you found out later, you looked at it on film? If so, how did you feel?
You know, the only play that I can recall that I screwed up, didn't cost anybody a game, was up in Colorado with Colorado State and Colorado back in 2001. Because you remember your screw-ups.
I know.
And they had a real good quarterback at the time who was being tackled. And I went in and I killed the play, and he pulled out of the tackle, and he ran him 20 yards close to getting a touchdown.
Yeah. Did the NFL make a mistake at the beginning of the season with these substitute refs, these imitation refs?
I don't think you can replace professional officials with amateurs, and I think they made a terrible mistake doing that.
Did you expect anything less though
No.
than what you got in the beginning of the season?
It was going to be a train wreck waiting to happen.
What do you think about them now?
About the NFL officials, I think they do a great job.
Yeah.
They have a tough job. I think they do a
Yeah.
wonderful job.
All right. This weekend, any picks? Any picks this weekend? Quick, we got like 10 seconds.
I'm not a Raider hater, but I'm a Niner lover.
Niners and Seahawks?
The Niners and Seahawks.
Niners and Seahawks. Hey, come back again. Ken Rivera, always good to have fun with you on the show.
Thanks,
it's
John.
good to see you. I want you
Always
to come
a
back.
pleasure.
All right. Ken Rivera, the coordinator of officials for the Mountain West World of Sports today. And tomorrow we're talking gun control. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you then. Take care.